So today I thought I would show you what we've got in store and talk a little bit about how our diet sort of splits between stored food, frozen food and fresh food. And I would say probably 80, maybe even as much as 90% of what we eat fresh. And so in order to do that, we've got a lot of space under cover in cold frames and mini tunnels. And then of course we've got the big polytunnel where we've got at the moment mostly salad crops and spinach, but we've also got early onions and early garlic and a few other bits and pieces in there, some herbs and things. Also outside we've still got a lot of stuff, of course, so we've still got all the brassicas, the cabbages, the cauliflowers, the broccoli, all the kales, and quite a lot of spinach, loads and loads of field beans. And for spring we've also got a lot of onions and garlic and the like. So as I say, most of what we eat fresh, but we also store a bit. It's nice to have quite a nice sort of rich variety of food over winter and into early spring, when the pickings really fresh are quite limited in terms of what you've got. And so we've got quite a nice range of stuff on the allotment still. So we've got quite a lot of salad potatoes in containers, and they'll be picked all the way through until April time when the new season first earlies are ready in the polytunnel. And we've also got loads, I think probably got about 20 or 30 winter squash, which we're storing at the moment in the little greenhouse. And then pretty much everything else is back home, so I'll show you around that now. So we'll start off indoors. We've got this really big cupboard in the dining room. This is essentially our pantry. The upper shelf is all the preserves, and the first shelf is mainly passata mixes and ketchups, and then there's all sorts of syrups, more passata mixes, chili pepper jams, chutneys, garlic, pickled garlics, loads and loads of chutneys, and then all sorts of fruits, sauces and jams, marmalades on the top shelf, and then stewed rhubarb up here, and then also up on the top shelf we've got garlic. We just keep it inside in this wicker basket. And then in what we call the garage, but it's never had a car in it, we've got most of our stored produce. We keep the potatoes under these fleece blankets so you can see better. So these are King Edwards, I think, and Charlottes and Vivaldi. There's a few of these just starting to sprout a little bit. They're the King Edwards. So we've got a reasonable amount of those. And then down here we've got the small Sarpamiras and King Edwards, and then these are what we've got left of the larger potatoes, so not very many. You can see that from a baking potato perspective we're going to get quite short quite quickly, and that's why we want baking potatoes as early as possible in June ideally. And so we put quite a bit of effort into trying to figure out how to get baking potatoes that early. And yeah, so salad potatoes, they're outside. I'll show you those later. Beetroot stored in these damp wood chips. And these are Cylindra. These are Bolt Hardy. These are the first ones. So these are a mixture of all different types, but they won't keep for very long. And then these are golden beetroot in here, and more Bolt Hardy in there. So these should keep us going until the beginning of May, basically. So there's one of these a month, roughly. We've still got a few beetroot outside. And then these are our shallots. There's a few more here. And then there's red onions and white onions. And we've actually got a reasonable amount of onions, and that'll keep us going until about May time again. And then we've actually got quite a lot of onions in the freezer, as well as all sorts of other things. Just loads of apples and loads of drinks, and these are all bagged up onions. We have very few things in the freezer though, some broad beans and berries and things like that. Like most people, we used to keep our potatoes in sacks, but then we found this is just so much more convenient to just lift this. We can see exactly what we've got, just pop it back down again. We can see anything that's going mouldy, or rotten. It's just much easier, and they just seem to keep really nicely under these blankets. Anyway, then we've got apples. That's it, that's all the apples we've got. They're really good keepers. They'll keep us going until about February. And then in these bags we've got dried apples and dried pears. We've actually got quite a lot more than this, but we keep them on the allotment for snacks. And then the only potatoes that we keep actually in the compost are the salad potatoes. So we've got 5 lots in there, and then there's about another, I don't know, it must be about 12 or so more containers of these on the allotment. Those are in their little greenhouse so they don't get too sodden. These are the ones we use first, then we'll switch over to the greenhouse ones, and we'll be eating those salad potatoes until April, and that's when we'll have our first earlies from the polytunnel. So I hope you like that little video. My name's Steve, this is the Seaside Allotment channel, and I'll see you soon.